that still sort of works. No? Okay, so I gotta wait a little bit longer. Okay, yeah, so hopefully, hello. Hopefully I'll get that figured out next time. Hopefully for next week's stream I'll on the weekend try to figure out how to unless it didn't work, or maybe it did, I don't know. But anyway, hello. Well scattered, let's see here. We're gonna work on some fun horse stuff. So, welcome Cookie, hello. And everyone else here. Let's see. Let's go to main start. Okay, hi guys. Hello, hello Cookie, and potentially other people. If you're not commenting, and if you're just gonna be lurking, I'll unfortunately not be able to say hello to you, because I actually don't know if you actually are here, so yeah. But welcome everyone. Hopefully this will be fun. We'll see. So what do we got here? Let's just get going on here. Is everything on? Mic on? Good. You can hear me? I don't know what happened that last time too, where it just kind of randomly just took my mic input out. Like I didn't like say like, hey, disable my mic. So I don't know what happened, but I'll go. That looks good. Hello. Yep, I guess we're all getting the gang all here. Let me go arm. Let me grab it. Gotta grab my hand. Hello, Rhyme. Welcome. Alrighty. So today I'm thinking about just moving on from the face. The face is pretty good. You know, so what? Got different expressions and some different expressions going on here. Yeah. So we kind of did a little bit of these last time, so if you weren't here for that, this is kind of the spoiler preview for you here. So that's as far as we got really with that, because I knew that most of what else we would have to do for after that would just be making more of these, so I feel like it would just be a little bit better to just work on something a little bit different. Like we haven't touched the rest of the body. We haven't touched the rest of the body yet, so I think we can work on that. It is slightly simpler. Let me move my mic just a bit. It is slightly simpler than the whole head, if I can remember what the head looked like. Over here. Whoop. Use my mouse once and I break things. Cool. Here's just a box for the eyes. Every eye control element is in this box, and the rest of the head is over here, with just a couple other extra little bits to say like, hey, for the ears to be a little bit darker, for perspective. But yeah, so hopefully it'll be somewhere in the middle, between like something that's complicated as this and as noodly as this will be the body. But it'll just be a bunch of different clones. Let's go back in to the body. This is what we got so far. And I got other extra references for me to help me out with this. I added a couple. I added this one. This is apparently official, I think. I got it off the MLP wiki today, so I hope this is official. I would think it is, just by the pure true quality, accuracy displayed on display here. It's even got a little mute thing, as if this was a social media post that someone screenshotted, so that makes it more legit as a real thing. Then we got Felt Sunny. I don't know the context rest of like if there was a whole video to this, but it seems to be this whole image is fantastic. I'm using this as a reference actually for this horse down here. I wanted to see like when they closed their eyes, it was just like the easiest one. That's like, hey, look, it's weird, fun craft one, and it's actually useful that I get to see like what happens when they close their eyes. So that they get these big eyelashes, brow lines, eyelashes, lines that are really thick as they close their eyes. And this, I also like the mouth to see like how it kind of gets whooped in there. So there was a rhyme and reason for it. I was like, hey, look, this is nice, and look, this is also pretty nice too. Yep. Uh, and this one, uh, it is more generic, but it's more like stock arty, but it's also really good to help me today with the body to see like what's the way that it needs to bend, where are the joints. Obviously, it's still a horse, so there's not like she doesn't have fingers or like extra bits that I wouldn't know about or something that I wouldn't not I used to. I'm still used to wearing animating these weird arms, these horse arms. So yeah, just to see like look at these weird bones. We're probably gonna be studying these a lot to see. This will be more useful. But yeah, the other one was just more for the expression of here. I don't know what kind of expression this is supposed to be, but I feel like it's gonna be useful in some regard, hopefully. And the rest of them, if you haven't seen them, let's kind of quickly tour them. Is the face paint one, just to see how that face looked, and the toy to see like what a sticker would look like. The bedsheet one, it's very stock art, and this 2D version of the stock art, so that's fun. Okay, well, let's go. So I did this. What is this? Sketch. Ooh. So I did this sketch like the first week. So that'll be our guide. So let's move some of these off. Let's get rid of. I can just reuse it. But yeah, we're gonna be making a whole bunch of different pieces here. I'm trying to think of whether or not I want it to be. Is that it could have it be groups. Like this could be the torso group, and then another box to be leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, leg 4, and then tail. Will be in different boxes or groups, or it can have it be huge and split up, but I don't know if they'd be too big. If it gets too big, then I guess then we can group it. How about that? So let's add a... Nope, don't want to close it. That was almost scary. So we're going to have the body master peg. It's going to control everything. And then this will be probably like the torso or something. Let's add that in. It's supposed to be torso P, and this will be the torso itself. Okay. And then I'll add all the other things. So let's just do that probably just now. So leg. Probably have to split this up, so that'd probably be its big thing. So just leg 1 for now, just to know that doesn't need a composite, and these go in. Leg 1 would probably be on top, or how does this work? I'm trying to also think of it. It's gonna be tricky because I'm about to like also think about it in 3D space, sort of. Because I can do like this, and then you can kind of see that this is gonna get complex really quickly with having 4 of these. And let's just get tail in. I'm not gonna add anything into the tail, but it'd be good to have. Just to have. And each of these can just have its own composite, just in case something goes wrong. It'd be like, oh, just turn on that composite and be okay. So it's gonna be over here. It's gonna have its own peg. Peg itself is gonna go into the body. Master peg. So there we go. Okay. Composite's probably not necessary, but once there's like multiple pieces, like the leg is probably gonna be split into like 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So it'll make more sense when we get there. Probably also want to add brightness, but we probably add that later. Like if I would just add that in now. Brightness, contrast. I'll just put it down the bottom. And I think I had it be. Let's go back to the ear. Hello. Let me get my arm. Whoop. Whoop. Hello, cartoons. Welcome. Let me see what the value of that brightness contrast is. Oh yeah, it's set to 0. Let's go to the other one. This is one that actually has it probably. Or it's also set to 0. Maybe I didn't actually change it. This one, let's just do that right now apparently. Load it up. -10. Beep. Oh, both of them did it. Oh, interesting. And I just had one of them, but we had both of them selected. Negative 100. Both of them go. Interesting. I'm not sure why that's happening, actually. That's more confusing now, and I'm... I haven't seen that before. Oh, let's just get rid of one of them. Add it back in, and hopefully it'll think it's a new instance. I've never seen that before, so... That is interesting. Okay. New keyframe. Negative 10. This one. 0. Okay. Maybe the copy pasting thought it was like, maybe because I'm trying to even rationalize it of how that can't even happen. Problem is that the original issue was that both of them did the same thing, but they're two different elements, but I only highlighted one at a time. So I have these like Bezier editor thing that's like this separate like thing that I can add different values like over time, and it's like has its own timeline that if I go way over here then say 0, then it actually has this like weird extreme like timeline going on. So for it to be connected like that was really odd. I've never seen like, I never had an instance where if I copy pasted one of these kind of nodes where it changes the values of an element, that it would copy paste like exactly its things. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so I'm scared that this will be freaking out sometime later too. Okay. It says be leg, front leg 1. I have to do both of these apparently. Front leg 1. Okay. Let's just figure some of this out. Just want to make sure they're all connected and noodled up. Okay. Good. Let's start drawing. I think we might be able to be ready to draw now. Forgot about that part, you know, it's like, oh yeah. You rig all this up and it's like, yeah, try to make this all nice and pretty, and then it's like, oh yeah, I don't have actually an element or any kind of drawing within the actual stage yet. Color. Base, coat out, outline, tool properties, pen 7. Is that about the same thickness? Is that even the same color? Whoa, looks so much brighter. Okay. Okay. Start with the torso. So the torso is fairly simple, but it's also getting pretty deceiving. The way that I'm gonna do it is have extra bips in there, and then kind of just trace around what I got. So you can see it in here. Okay, so this will be fairly simple, and in a sense that's just like, oh, it's gonna be just making these shapes and whatever. It will become more complex once I introduce different views. So in case if I want them to like have her like look towards the camera, or oh, I'm still using the wrong button. Beep. If I want her to like face the camera, she's like looking off to the side right now, or like into the distance. If I want her to like look into the camera, I would have to have in 2D a completely different asset to be able to do that. So if I want her body to face forward or to the side or whatever, I would also have to make another element for that as well. So that's where it's gonna get confusing, and then very if this wasn't already sort of confusing of what I'm trying to do with all these node stuff that I hid right now, all this stuff, if this doesn't make sense, then trying to explain how 360 Puppet's work is also going to be tricky. I have to explain like how views work in different angles and like all my weird terms that I got. And it's like, oh yeah, let me do a 3/4 front or in a profile, and a rear 3/4 means something else besides, you know, just being 3/4, a rear 3/4. So probably the way that I'm probably gonna set it up is have different drawing substitutions or completely different drawings for each torso view. So the torso will be, that's cute. Torso would have different pictures based on its rotational view in relation to the camera. So yeah, basically I'll just draw a new picture for when she faces different way. Hopefully that makes more sense. I never know. Never know when I lose you guys, because then you're probably thinking too hard or something's going on. Around. But, okay. So that's actually done for the torso. Unless I want to do the pony life thing where there's like a neck shadow. There's somewhat of a neck shadow, but that's just kind of built in when you do a 3D and have a realistic lighting system. So we could sort of mimic that, but I think probably could just kind of get away with it, just kind of be like that. I would like to either have the skull, there's like outline, there's like a line here. Maybe I like that to be somewhat, oh, there's my original sketch. It's made it a little bit more cute. I would like this to somehow be cut. They're in different places though, so I can't really exactly cut simply. Have to look into that, or I'll have to just go into the skull and add like a some sort of element to be a cutter in a sense. I wonder if I could just do that while we're here. Skull cut. It's just be its own thing, have its own peg, and relationship to the head is that always move, and kind of go back out there. So I need a composite and a cutter. Below, beep, 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 and beep. Oh yeah, but you also have to draw something in here, so let's make a circle. And let's call it probably like my invisible color. So whatever this is, I would like the line art of the skull to disappear. Apparently this cutter's not even working in the first place. So that's fun. That sort of works. That's sort of what I want. Okay, so I need to cut the outline of the skull. Outline of the skull is apparently on every thing here, so let's cut this out, put the color inside there, make this slightly smaller. Okay, and then I want the skull cut to not be this, and I would like the skull line art to go into here and to go into here. Oh, look at that. And to also go in here. Look at that. And if I make maybe this color of that, there you go. So then it just be up to playing with this all day long. There you go. And so now if I want to move this at any point, I can just move this around. And it'll only exist inside of the skull. So it's like a skull cut. Ha! That was really simple. Okay. So what's going on is all of this. Well, so I got this skull cut, which is that circle shape that's going into a composite to combine the line art only of the skull, which is the line part of this, which then gets cut, and then that goes on top. Would like to probably figure out if I can just put this on the bottom. Does that work? Sorta. That works, because then the ears, this ear needs to be on top. I had it on very on top, so that works. Okay. Let's go back. That was a weird trick. Let's do the legs. So let's get rid of the, if I had too many things in the torso, then I can use a composite to get rid of all of those, but I only have one, so that makes that easy. Beep. Let's try to move these down. Okay, let's add leg. Legs going to be fun. So the leg is obviously, can't be one piece. You can just draw this out and be like, you know, leg, done. That's good for artwork. But if you want to actually be animated and to go into something like this pose, what do? Do you just draw this as a separate pose? Well, actually, yes, but you can be more sneaky and have a leg be made out of different pieces, like how limbs and are kind of, you can divide them up into different joints. Like you have the hand, wrist, elbow, and then shoulder. So you can have different pieces that kind of like are like actually parts of the different joints. So I can like have toe be an object, lower part of the piece here, and then a bip here, and then a bip here as different pieces, and then I can like rotate this on a hinge, and so I don't have to like make a different picture every single keyframe. If I want this to be like up, imagine this toe being up here, I could just swing the whole piece up. So that's the method I'm gonna do. So instead of just drawing this straight, I'm gonna actually make this into several pieces. So this is where it gets a little tricky. So I need, oh boy, I need another peg, and this will be, it'll be controlled by the body, and this will be front leg, MP, front leg 1 MP, and so we'll get rid of this line, put it into here. So now here's this bit, and so we can call this the front leg 1 toe. We need, let's get rid of that. So I can just copy paste the little name here, and then I'm gonna add a couple more stuff. We're gonna add the front leg 1, this part, lower leg, and the upper leg, actually up here, and then we also need a, I'm gonna call it the shoulder. So now we get all of these bips, and so we have to rig it the same way that we did the head stuff. It's kind of lagging. Let me save quickly, make sure. Okay, so these will all go something like lower, upper, shoulder. Okay, and so all of these will get pegs, and then they all get composited into the actual screen. If I take this off, then it doesn't appear on its stage at all, but once I do, then I can click it and then see it. Okay, how we doing, guys? Let's add beep, beep, beep. So this is what I mean. It's like this, the way that I'm splitting it up makes it a little bit more complicated, but I'll be have literal flexibility doing it this way. Let's probably start with, or just start with a toe. That'd be easy. So I need a couple new colors. I need this purpley color. Let's see what color it is. What color is it? Is it the same as the eyebrows? Because we could probably just reuse that and then make it a different color or more saturated or something. Let's find out where that is. Eyebrow. Copy it. And this will be toe fill. And copy that. And make it a little bit darker. And this will be toe out. Okay. I want to reference this to see just about what I'm looking for. Toe. Could be hand, but I don't know. I feel like toe makes more sense to me, so more used to that anyway. So the trick is that obviously I'm not drawing what I just drew with the sketch, so I can rotate it in animation when I need to. A lot of this is like extra extra work to like make animation time simpler later on. So I was like, yeah, I could spend like 10 hours making sure that everything, you know, have every possible expression. But if you're gonna do like a whole TV show or a whole season, then it's like, yeah, that's good to have all of those. But if you're just gonna make like a 10-second thing and only use this character for like, you know, a couple, you know, literally like 5 seconds, then yeah, spending that much time making something like that is probably not really worth your time then. So enough for this. That's like, we're probably going to be using this for like maybe a couple live stream shorts. Like I won't be using this for pretty much anything else that I can think of. So yeah. Okay, let's do the fun part. Is that to add the elbow, I can add a circle. And this will act as our joint. Get this to be in the middle. And then, let's see. Hello, Mew. Let me get my arm so I can say hello. Beep, beep. There you go. Hello. Welcome. Toon Boom is a free program and it's good for votes. I would say Toon Boom for students for about 2 weeks is free. I would think. Don't quote me on that. I think that's a little bit off. It is a not free software. You do have to pay for it. Unless you want to do it. I don't want to say that. I legit bought this. This is the premium tier. There's 3 versions. 3 different ways to purchase it, or different levels of getting the same software, essentially. But yes, this is the most expensive, most feature-rich, most you want to like be a professional, then use this tier. So it is the most expensive tier, which is depending on if you want to do it monthly or annually, or just buy it outright. I bought it outright, which is the most expensive with the most expensive version and everything. So it's a whole king caboodle for me. So just like I don't have to worry about, you know, like Adobe's like monthly thing, or, you know, having to buy it or whatever. So I just said I'll just get it. So it is not free, and my version and everything that I got was like $2K. And then I'm buying some silver premium, just silver support tickets, so I can get those extra bits there, extra support in case I need that. So yes, it is not free, but there are ways to definitely make it worth your while, depending on which version you get. For beginners, definitely check to see if it's if it's right for you with the free trials. The free trials, that's it. So there's free trials. I think these aren't working. To, wait, these overlapped wasn't quite what I wanted. That'll do. So there's free trials to, like, play with it for, like, a couple weeks. Or less. I don't know. And, kind of get your feet wet. Try to do, like, a simple project. See what you can do. Do you like the, you know, when you play it out, does it, like, feel fun to work with? Does it feel like it's a good enough substitute for whatever you're probably using? And then after that, really decide on what you like and what you don't like, and really consider it. Yeah. Let's see. Is it good for puppets? I would say so. I'm literally making a puppet, and I'm doing just fine so far. Let's see. Is everything on here? Yeah. Snake Red Eye question. Yeah, it's a little confusing with all the different tiers and stuff. That's like, what are you actually paying for? Or like, what's in the box and what do you get? Or what don't you get is more what you should be thinking about too. Because if you're just gonna be doing frame by frame drawing stuff of like every frame you'll draw a new picture, then obviously there's a lot more substitutes for different softwares that are arguably better at that. So I'd recommend stopping for stuff like that. But for puppets, I would say that this is probably as best as you can probably get. I can't think of any other programs that are like arguably better than this. So yeah, I would say that this is great for puppet making and making symbols and stuff like that. Just the way that this all works is like, this is a real godsend of like being able to like rig things up and be able to make groups and like be able to say like, I want this to be at a certain level, and then halfway doing animation say like, oh, I gotta use, you know, a different setup, sorta. You can't really do that in a way, but you can like use ZDepth to like kind of get around it. Where like the whole stage is always in 3D, so you can kind of see with the 3D thing there, the grid, that if I split these into different ZDepths, then you'll be able to see it as a true 3D. So I could like nudge things during a mid shot and like set its ZDepth to be different. So it works really well for that. I've used Flash for about 7 years or so. Still am with my Derpy movie, but it's at this point I'm just using it to make assets for my Blender shots, so it's not quite as much 2D animating as much as making little like a video game making sprite sheets for another program to use. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's still good, but it's like, it's so clunky going back to like, have to like go back to Flash to like make some stuff. Even some simple stuff, it's always like, oh, can I do this? Or can I do it this way? Flash is so not good. Let's see. Are making puppets hard? You can tell me if this looks complicated to you, or whether or not this looks like, oh yeah, I understand this to a sense, or like I know what's going on. You can just kind of figure that out for yourself. For me, because I've experienced mainly with puppets my whole animation career, this feels like second nature to me. So it's hard for me to have a real it is complicated no matter what, so it's gonna be just up to you whether or not, if it's like, oh, this is too complex. I would say like even 3D stuff scares me still a little bit of just like how those work. So yeah, if you kind of just understand that like there's different pieces and it's like a good rig and a good puppet would have like a whole bunch of stuff you can work with. The Toon Boom website I think has some sample puppets, and they're like really complex, and they're like account for like basically anything. You can probably just use it for like a professional TV show kind of quality that they have as a sample project that you can download. So I would say probably maybe start with that to see like, oh, this is probably too complex. But yeah, I would say it's a little bit different process in Flash. I mean, the general structure of like beep to beep to beep to beep as different elements is pretty much the same for Flash and other programs that use puppets. I haven't used much more than that of any other software. I know like there's that other one that uses more bones or something, or like interpolation things. It's a bunch of stuff like that. Sorry about that. Yeah. Let's see. I have to think about trying to cut between these two lines. So either I could probably just swap them and get these different results. So I need to figure out a way to cut it. I could do it the same way where I have an extra piece like this, be its own piece. I can go around and cut it. But I feel like that might be too jank. So probably, let's see what this looks like if I just cut between the two pieces. It's probably gonna break or something's bad is gonna happen. So I want this and this cut. Let's see, did that work? That's cut. Okay, so what do I have? I have the lower shown, so I need the upper to be shown behind it. Or do I want it to be on top? Or do I want to swap this? Or do I want it to be below? That's sort of it. Let's see. Try making a puppet in Clip Studio. Oof. Okay. It was very stiff in so many folders. Folders. Interesting. Yeah. I would say Toon Boom is more designed for puppets. I'm not really quite showing it off quite well here, but this is what I don't want to show. And then, let's see. It's like a little puzzle game to figure this out. Let's cut that out. Well, it's being cut by itself now, so that's not good. Let's try and put this here. And then let's put this behind it. Or let's put this behind it. Oh boy. I might have to come back to this because I might be chunking something up. Or I might have to do a split where I have to do the line arts, which means I have to go back into here and split that up. That might work. Let me reset my face for 1 sec. Okay. It does become like a little bit of like, well, that doesn't work and I want it to work. I wonder what I need to do. And the problem is that there's a whole bunch of different nodes of all these different things. I'm going through all of them. That there's so many things that's like, if you don't understand or don't know some of these exist, then yeah. Some of these are like super useful and I use these a lot. That it's like, yeah. Probably want to like get used to some of these are pretty good. So yeah. But the problem is that if you don't know that these exist, and it's like trying to do something a very, very complex way of getting around something that's like, oh, I just need a glow, you know, or a gradient or something. Then it's like, why don't you just put that in there and it works? Let's see. Is it possible to make a 360 puppets into them? Yes, very much so. What if I could just find that? Or probably during Toys time, we're pretty close. 360 Toon Boom puppet. What do we got? Just show me like a quick GIF. There's just like this beaver. It's like a sample one that Toon Boom made. And so you can see these different like angles. And so it's like able to use like master controllers to like set up the different poses of each head. And so it'll interpolate between the different expressions and phrases and stuff. So yeah, you can have like a weird interpolation grid wizard to like say like positions and stuff. So it gets very, very complicated with these extra things. Head rotation expressions. So obviously you don't have to like plug through here to see what all these do, but you can like have a slider that if you click here, you have to like set it up, and it gets pretty complicated of how you have to set that up. But if you drag this left to right, depending on what frames you have set up and the way that the different heads, and it's not quite exactly a 3D model rotating, but you're just setting different frames that have different angles set up that look like the different head angles. And so when you go through that, you're just sliding through the different frames that you have, but you can have it interpolate between those frames themselves, and then it can create something smooth. So that's kind of the trick that it does, is that it's using frames that you create, in the better inputs you give it, the better the output. So if you give it better, let's go back to the other head one. Yeah. So if you give it all these different frames, then you have to create these frames individually. You have to actually make, what does this look like? You know, move the nose into each position, move the eyes, move the different pieces around, and then set them up. So you're actually creating these different frames on your own. And then this magic part is then having this grid. It doesn't quite look like this when you set it up. You get something more computer looking. But this is a visualization that you want like different views of the head, and then once you make that, then you can have the little slider and say like, I want to use frame 2's picture, which is a front view, and then go to frame 3, which is this one, and then the computer then does Toon Boom as an interpolation slightly to get between here and here. So it's using in respecting the translation from the nose here to whatever the position of this nose is. So it's just sliding the axis around rather than using a 3D model. So that's why it's like, yeah, it's as good as you input it. If you put in good pictures and if it understands the different things, then it'll have a really, really interesting output. But yeah, it's just so much input that like it's hit and miss whether or not you want to actually do this much amount of work. You don't have to do this much work if you're going to do something simple. But if you're going to do a TV show or a whole movie, then it probably would be good to like have these set up, to have all these different things set up so you can make things faster later when you do animating. But puppet rigging and building puppets is like, takes just as long as if you just did a regular animation. It's hit and miss of whether or not you want to do it or not. In some sense. So it'll depend on the project mostly with all that. So yeah, let's just add a knee and that might help. FL1 knee, and then I think a lot of puppets, horse puppets that I know actually add knees into them. So it's not quite like cheating, hopefully, if I do it. I know puppets is like my first introduction to animation. When I first got into like when I said like I want to do animation, I was using puppets. The Double Rainbow fan animation just came out, or like they had like a website that had like a whole bunch of different MLP character puppets that they used to make the movie. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, can I do that? And they were like, yeah, you can download it. And I was like, yeah. So I downloaded them and had a lot of fun experimenting with it. And those were my first cartoons, were using those assets. And eventually I like figured out how to make my own puppets and make my own animations with them. So definitely got a lot of respect for Double Rainbow for making those puppets and to help me understand it. Because otherwise I'd be like, okay, I have to like figure it out on my own. Or do frame by frame and just like not have as much fun, I would think. as trying to make animation. So what I'm doing is now redesigning the shape of this to be more knee shaped, I guess, because it's not going to be exactly a circle. It's probably not going to help the most. So that'll help. Okay, so that's our knee joint. Okay, and so when I move lower, I probably also want to move all these points here are wrong, so let's just do that real quick. The rotation points are always in the center of the whole screen. So it's like, it's got to rotate around here. So, yeah. Okay. So I put it somewhere around here. Then I'll rotate around there. All happy. Lower. It's going to be over here. Boop, boop. So one thing is to make sure that it's actually in the center. Let me just hide everything. Center of the circle. So that's going to be a little tricky. I figured it out. It should look like it's not really moving. So it's going to be a little tricky. Might have to actually make a new circle and say where the center point is. What happened there? Should go on top. So I want to see where the circle is. And then once I figured that out, then both of those should line up anyway. So that should work. So it should be a circle. Somewhat around here. And then as long as I get it kind of close, that'll be good. I am wondering where. Put it on the top. There you go. So it should be the center of this circle for this. And I can see that I was probably a little bit off. So it's going to move it up a little bit. And so it should look like it's not falling out. And so that's me some pixel perfect to kind of get this going, but that'll do for now. I know there's other techniques that you can add something to make this. Oh, probably actually do this. Let's try that. Right now I got this as a circle. If I make this just smaller, then I can get it to be a much smaller point like that. And then that can help me figure this out and go, haha. Let's put it in the middle of where this is. This isn't probably accurate with this dot, but it's more accurate than probably where I was, so. And so when I move the lower leg, I would like to also move the knee, but the knee can also move on its own. So let's remove the noodle here and put this here. And so now, every time I move the lower, it should also move the knee. So that'll help. And of course, probably want to make the knee drawing a little bit lower. Make this more circular, probably. Better just fix some of these. So yeah, it's a lot of trial and error and just figuring out. It's yeah, I understand how to do this, but it's every single time you make a new character, a new puppet, it's different art style or something different. That's what I kind of run into a lot of times. Is oh, I know how to do this, but it's how do I want to do it this time for this character? You know, what's this gonna look like? You can do the same thing actually and just move a noodle here. Connection point instead to now the toe. So now every time I want to move the lower leg, I can just go beep, go to here, and then go up. Gotta select it and then click it. Right, there you go. So now all I have to do is click the this bip. So instead of selecting the knee, selecting lower arm, selecting the toe, and then somehow also clicking on all of these at the same time, instead of selecting 3 of them, I can just select one So that's like the power of like Toon Boom stuff, is that you can do weird stuff like that. Is that you can do, hopefully not daisy chaining. Daisy chaining would be if I literally did it like this, and then having it all connect to here, and it's like, now I can't move the toe at all because now there's no peg here, so you do have to like add extra pegs for literally everything, but it works. So now I can move this. Yay. And if I move the upper, I can have its own rotation itself, what that needs to be, somehow move it along or some weird angle or something. And then we have to add the shoulder next, but move this over. This will control everything lower, so that should move every piece. So there you go. So I want it to be like an up, and then I want the other piece to be down. So that's how we can get this kind of a shape. Roughly, you would have to like still go back in and fix the knee bit, but that gets into a very like quick, like done, you know, ish pose. And you can reuse this, you know, over and over again with this kind of like easy. I'm resetting it, kind of setup. You can recreate that pose simply. Okay, I need to also add the shoulder, and then that'll be it for this arm, leg thing. Code out. So this will be, let's see. Let's be this kind of a shape, and this will just kind of go over it. Kind of like be a reverse to what we just did with this, but now it'll be covering up the top of the upper leg here. Beep. 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 Probably add some Toon Boom specific stuff. Drawing tools where I can add strokes. So probably just get rid of this and add a stroke, which is an invisible line that can connect these pips. And so it's invisible, like 0.000 thickness, but it'll still act as if it's a real line. And everything still acts as if it is. So let's get rid of these pips, and I can go back into my taper tools and say, hey, let's be a little bit tighter here. And be like that. So there you go. Okay, so now if I want the shoulder to move or shoulder to rotate, I'll have to grab it and place it there. This may work, this may not, but at least it'll add me more flexibility, hopefully. And so I want to move the whole arm and be something like this. So you kind of do like downward the chain. So we're going to move this bip and then this bip. And if the toe needs to move, we can do that too. And then just be like positioning it. So that's like a super quick of like having an arm sort of a thing. And no new drawing required. That's the fun part. Okay. So that's a good bit, and it's very complex, so we'll probably just call it here, and then let's have the torso to see like what that looks like. Good. We'll also have to have cutie mark, because apparently they do have cutie marks, so we'll have to have the torso have on top a cutie mark. Beep. So this is where the composites come into play, is that you can have these different groups in a sense, but the way that they're kind of set up also allows for more complex rigging. Peg. As we go to the body. Body master peg. Body master peg controls the entire body, so let's put it near the bottom. I like to use this for like squatch and stretch sort of thing, so I don't have to like squatch the entire thing, because sometimes that gets a little bit jank when you like squatch and stretch the whole thing, because then like the whole head moves too. So I like to have it be separate, so I can just have the body master peg here and just kind of squash it, and then go back to the head and then plop it down. So fun stuff like that. Let's see. I only have key marks on one side. Well, let's see. That's okay. I also think that they should be on top of, layered with the leg, the haunch, back thigh thing. So probably want to actually put it onto the back leg when I do that. Let's just add all the bips for that and then explain it. It's pretty much the same thing, so sort of torso. And what we can do is when we make the cutie mark part of it, it'll have to play with Z depth to be on top, but it'll only be like 0.001 higher, so it won't be that much of a 3D warp. Probably won't be too much of an issue with that. But I have had times where in a leg or something, I would add a background, and the background would be somehow in between the legs and is like halfway through the character, so I'd have to like move the background and see that backward. This is back leg 1 master peg. Is that what I called it? Oh, I called it that. I used actual letters. Excuse me. Back leg 1 MP. Okay, this will be controlled by the whole body. And then cutie mark will be connected. Cutie mark will actually be on top. Composite. Composite will be on top of the torso. And then we're going to add the other bips. So we're going to need, thank you. We got to add a whole bunch of stuff. So back leg 1, toe, and lower, and upper, and shoulder. Or I guess I could be thigh if I were to work. Okay. So it's a little bit slow. Probably all my pictures are probably slowing it down a little bit. So thigh, yep. Upper, lower, and toe. So now it's the real toe. Okay, and so once we also get these in too, we can probably just like copy paste or like duplicate the layers and then relocate them. That's what I did for the other eye. I literally just duplicated all the different eye pieces, and then they would appear in the same place as this eye, and then I, on one of the pegs, one of the higher up pegs, and then flipped it and moved it over to the right size and scale, left and right scale, skew in it. So that's probably what I'll do for these two with these legs. Let's see. Not yet. Don't do that yet. Or actually, yes. Not this one. Beep. And beep. And beep. Okay. Beep. Okay, we're just about on time, like right now. Should we? Shouldn't take too long. It'll probably be around the same time as making the other leg, but I think we could probably just call it good. It's pretty much exactly the same setup, so it's probably not going to be like, whoa, you're doing something different kind of a thing. Is that the upper? Instead, controls the lower and the toe. And then the thigh. It's its own thing, and the cutie mark probably is also controlled by the thigh. So every time I move the thigh, the cutie mark should move. And then wherever I want to move everything, it'd be with that too. So what do we got? We got a lot, and then we have to double both of these up. So I have to have a front leg 1 and then front leg 2 somewhere. back leg 1 and back leg 2 somewhere, and then all these brightness and stuff. So I can put this in and show what that looks like. Same thing, where gotta render it. If I set this up to have keyframe, I can set this up to be -20, and then it gets darker. And so that'll be useful for when I got the other leg that's going to be here. I can have a different tonal brightness to each of them to separate them a little bit more. At least for right now, I'll just set it up to 0. And that brings it back there. And so this one will also need that. Beep. And then the tail. Tail will probably never be darker, so that doesn't need it. Torso will probably never need it. Might have to make like a knee. I'm foreseeing that I'll probably have to make a knee type thing as well. Usually there's like a little like line that's like literally like this kind of like shape. That's it, and it kind of like covers up between like the die that's going up this way. I think I might have it. Instead of having it go up here, I can have it kind of stop here. Oh, that's an X sheet. Hang on. So instead of it going up here, I can get rid of. Whoa! It's trying to render out what I just did. I can get rid of this line, and instead have a knee shape that has like an extra set of commands to like hide this shape that I have, so it'll be disappeared, and so it'll look more like this once it's finished. So that's gonna be the idea. Okay. So how's that? Let's add back in the torso. Beep. So we're getting there. Now we only got the torso and one of the leg, but the leg's pretty complex. All things considered with all this works in. Probably want to figure out some more Z-Dep to figure out. Like, probably wanted to make it always go in front of certain places, but I think that's pretty good. And then I'll just be up to making sure that these circles are like perfectly aligned, so that when I rotate them, they'll be okay. But I think that's actually pretty good where it is. I guess I can duplicate the front leg, and then we'll call that good. So I'm gonna copy all of these, and then duplicate. Yep. Select all these. See if this works. That does not. That's interesting. Let's see. What's the best way to go about this? There you go. I wanted to duplicate selected layers. Beep. And it creates this giant mess on the board here, but if I carefully select one of them, beep. It's now I can have this one. And get some of these to work a little better. Beep. And so if I move this on the first keyframe, it's now be over here. I kind of slide it over here and set it to be Z-Depth. So this is in front and this is in back. So that. And if I get rid of the sketch count, there you go. Let's put a visibility so I don't have to see it when I render it. Visibility. Otherwise, if you don't know what this is, then you would have to, you know, if you don't want to see it on the page, on the stage, you would have to like put it somewhere else, or like set it to be a color that's like only render certain colors, or like do other crazy stuff to be able to get to there. So it's good to know your nodes to make sure you're doing things without being too extreme with the amount of stuff you have to do. So if I put this -20, beep, you get that. And I can set the harshness of it. I think that's probably going to be good. This creates a nice little shadow to separate the legs there. So Just kind of care about this much. We got this much done. And she's going to be bald until, like, I finish the rest of the stuff, rest of the pieces, and get the rest of the maybe expressions done, and the rest of the head rotations, and maybe add some body rotations. So there's a lot more to do. Obviously, we only have like half of her body here. Would you guys like me to start from here, or I could just draw the rest of the leg and then finish it? I noticed now that there's a colored thing that I probably need to also address. That kind of starts from this orangey color, it goes to this white color at the bottom. That's also like a specific shape. So for this hair, so I have to also add that in. Would you guys like me to get both legs done, get all these extra bits done, and then move on to doing the next part? Or would you like me to just start from literally here and then do some off stream? Okay. Yeah. Because now, like, most of what I want to do for this is going to be much more extreme. So this kind of shows like how to do one leg. So hopefully it'll be a little bit of homework to figure out what to do for the other piece. Showing what I did here. Okay, let's go to Torstone. Yeah, if I work off stream, then I'll have to like find some time to actually do that. So yeah, it's gonna be depending on how much time I have to actually. If I want to do something off stream, then I'll have to find time to do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, probably just finish up the one other leg and then duplicate it and then call it good, and then we can work from there. Because most of the other stuff that I want to do is like the head rotation stuff is gonna be obviously dependent on having all the elements here, but not necessarily like every single like blink and every single like expression that can be made with these different pieces. So yeah, let me quickly also make sure that the legs also appear for a little bit longer. If I select all these, go to here and then say beep, and then say something's not here. One of these toes is not. There you go. It's not a legs there. Okay, just want to make sure that the legs also were exposed for that long. Okay, cool. Let's go to toast time. I got my water so I can do see how this sound effects works. Oh, hi Buttercup. Sorry. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome everyone. Enjoy the fan art by the wonderful artists who submitted on the Discord. Thank you guys. Alrighty. Let's see. Yeah. I don't exactly have like a full-on plan of like, oh, I'm gonna make this kind of a cartoon with the horse puppet, or like what even kind of characters I would need for it. So at the very least, I'm just gonna try and probably just do, well, the simplest would probably just finish the three-quarter front, add some expressions, and then before, this is interesting. If I want to do like one of those stream Mad Libs where you guys help me make a story, it probably makes sense to have you guys make up a story with certain characters, and then I could spend time making the characters and start production of that. Because obviously the longest time to make that sort of stuff is, or at least a large chunk of making a cartoon, especially with this kind of puppet style, is making the puppets. Because puppets make everything much smoother, because then it's just like how I like was able to like move literally one peg and it moved a whole bunch of different stuff. That would save a lot of time than trying to fiddle with like too many other small pieces, and it's like so yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the plan, is try to finish up the base and then do a stream of like ask you guys, hey, what kind of story do you want these characters or character to do, Probably something really simple, probably really short, and then something I could probably do within hopefully less than a couple months or so. Because the movie is coming out in, is it September? So we have a month. So that's why I'm trying to get the get this going. So at least I can have something to work with, and then spend the time animating it. Other than, yeah, it doesn't have to be like before the premiere, but it'd be nice to have like, ooh, look, I have a fan animation before it actually comes out. That'd be fun. Doesn't need to happen, but that'd be interesting to have. I'm sure there's other. Are there already fan animations with these characters with like new assets and other stuff? I haven't really looked around to see if there's anything to. Well, nothing's been on my radar to see if there's any cartoons with these G5 characters. Yeah, so that'll be fun. I know there's been like artwork and definitely a whole bunch of fan artwork of all these, so probably just only gonna be considering if there's like a full cartoon of them doing something. Probably some. I don't know. They're all talented. Everyone's talented with all this community stuff, but it seems to be the ship has sailed for popularity, I guess. Since G4, it's like, yeah. Whereas all the explosion of whole bunch of stuff with G5 now, it's like, I don't know. I have to like look for it or something. It's less in my face than usual than with G4 stuff. You know what I mean? So now I have to like ask, like, is there stuff for this? Like, I don't know. There it is. That's fine. Let's see if we can find something. Maybe there's like 3D stuff. 3D stuff is probably the cool simplest because you can. There's already 3D models, so with the G4 characters, and you can probably just put a hair on top. Yeah, how do you even search for this now? G5 and in my place. G5 game cartoon. No, I was just searching for stuff. How you guys doing? Let's see. A bunch of lots of fun fan art that I see. Surprised G5 fan cartoon really only shows me pony stuff. That's interesting. There's no Pokemon. Let me just add some more keys in here. Probably should also search by video. That'd be cool too. Fan opening original. Let's see. Official. Yeah. No. Stock art. Or MVP. Huh. Oh, was it? There was like one ad that the guy who does the Sims ponies with the Sims animation cartoon. Is that animator done? That guy did a couple of GIFs of like very short stuff. So G5. What's the Sims pony Sims animation? Some guy I can't pronounce with the Yud Hanskula did I? Okay, I got the name. Okay. Yud Ha de I could money G5. Aha. Okay, so this is what I was thinking of. where it's kind of short and sweet. So it's like it's not a full cartoon, but this is definitely like what I was thinking of. That's like I can build something like this. It's obviously very. It's kind of intermediate. Oh yeah, I can't see it. I should kind of put it over my face. That can work. And this is kind of like by. Sorry, I can't get the name correct. If you can read, you'd hide Carolina made this. So, this is what I was thinking, that I can make some kind of base puppet to then add some hair on top, and it's like, whoops, it's one of the characters, you know, color it right and add the right hair. So I was thinking of making something like this, but probably a little bit longer, probably like 30 seconds or something for like a cartoon. But this is great. This is probably one of the earliest, quote, animations. It's animation, but I would think it's not a full cartoon yet. So, yeah. This is probably made when the bed sheets were leaked. That's how early it was. Yeah, uploaded 5 months ago. So yeah, this is really early. Yeah, I like to make something like this. So I won't be the first with making a puppet, because this is definitely puppet animation. No doubt about that. These are really cute. So yeah, I'm gonna make something like this. Hopefully. We'll see. Oh, there's only 4 pictures on here. There's Sonny. What do we got? Yep. Ooh, a sit. She does a sit. Ah. Oh, you can see like there's no toe bips. Interesting. It's like a weird hybrid. It's really weird. It's like the only difference I see from G4 is like the extra cheek. That's usually not there. But a lot of the anatomy is a lot the same from G4. So that's interesting. They went this route. It's like they just had their animation or their puppets, and it's like didn't research as extensively as I have into this to make it movie accurate, you know, as best I can, trying to make it still cute, but it'll never be fully movie accurate by being 2D, you know what I mean? So this is great. It's as if, yeah, if this was like a crossover between 4 and 5. If G5 went to a G4, what would the cartoon version look like? That's what I would imagine this would be. So it's kind of like, it's intermediate. Yep. Cookie? Let's see. I would think so. I think the chat's been very nice to me. So you can have your break. Thank you so much. Just for completion's sake, let's do the other one. The Pegasus lady girl. Who is it? Pip. I'm gonna learn the names soon. Hopefully. All this by. I'm sorry that I can't get your name, pronounce it right, but it starts with a UI. Thank you so much. Frankity, so I can look at them. I like the face warping. That's very nice. Where it's the face rotation. Not to see, like, if it says like flash, then I'll be able to know what it was. I don't think you guys remember if this animator uses flash or not, but definitely it should be very possible with Toon Boom to be able to make something like this. And if we do that weird beaver trick, probably want to find a better name for that, where with the master controller sliders, and that's just what it's called. So master controller stuff, you'll be able to do this sort of like head rotation, interpolate between the two, like a front face and like this 7/8 sort of like over there kind of a thing. If you set up those frames, then you can have like those in between set up auto magically in a sense, but it's pretty It's just it takes as much time as if you just actually animate it yourself. Rebuffering. I'll go back here. Okay. Yeah, sometimes just having too much web stuff on screen is a little bit too much for it. Okie dokie. Are we good? Did I buffer back? Am I clear? Okay. Let's see. Hello. Portable hole. Welcome. Let's see. I've been in live stream a while. Oh yeah, you're right. Well, good to see you. It's always good to have you around. And everyone else. Thank you guys so much. I super appreciate you guys who actually joined. Thank you. I'm gonna get some water to give me more brain juice so I can think good. Excuse me. Yeah, so those are examples of the those little characters I wanna examples of what I'm trying to achieve with what I'm going on, what I'm working on. So hopefully that was good. I saw the Pip one was the only one that I think has the toe pieces actually be a little bit more gradient. So that's nice. They're getting there. Let's see. So I'll definitely have to add that into mine. It's like a weird detail. It's like G4 and Pony Life didn't have that. I don't think anything else. Maybe Big Mac sorta had it, but it wasn't like a gradient color at the bottom, where it had this fluffy Clydesdale looking hoof thing where they have real hair that's like big bushy hair that goes over the hoof. I always should call them hoof, but I always call it like the whole leg a hoof, so who even knows. Yeah. Let's see though. I think we're good. Let's see. Anything else happening in the Greenwater world? Let's see. I've been very busy trying to work on Minimare stuff. So this is weird because most of the design choices, the way that the body and like the anatomy of the G5 forces is like very, very close to Midnight Mares. So it's a little fun to kind of make my own version of it. That's kind of like, I feel like I can just kind of use those what I've learned from like digging through the Midnight Mare puppets to like recreate it with this new style. It's like an extra hybrid. Because I'm working on that. We'll hopefully have a more elongated trailer in the next couple months or so. So we're working on that hard. Yeah, so I'm a little bushed out from working on that so long. So yeah, some of my the Derpy movies kind of struggling to get priority sometimes. So it's a shame because like I have all the Patreon stuff and all the YouTube revenue stuff coming in, but it really doesn't match from having a more full-length commission Minimares style. Like I'm getting way more from doing Minimares, just working on it, than if I put a new video up on YouTube, then it would get like maybe like $1 or so in revenue. So it's like it may take like a whole week to like edit and compile and make one of the shorts and like add music and make original music and put a whole bunch of art into it, and then it's like just not getting enough like traction, enough that's like it's not interesting, but it's like as a video concept I can see that, but it's like it's still like, man. Did not see them really truly get too much traction, especially also the movie is also slowly each chapter gets less views, so I'm kind of scared like if I go on for too long how many views the last chapter will have. And then especially if I put like it all together as a one giant one, it might get some more, but it's like it definitely won't be Derpy test level. I'll never reach that. I'll never get that again. So yeah, oh well. I'll just keep working on my projects and see where that goes. But I do have plans. Like, that's why I made the portfolio website, and I shared that a couple times. YoshiGreenwater.com. That kind of made that so I can have other opportunities outside of Horse Bubble. Do other animation or other like completely different careers maybe. Just leaving it open. So we'll see. But yeah, at least for just right now, I'm focused out on it, on my projects and stuff with the movies and mid-nightmares. But at the same time, I feel like I gotta leave before the ship completely sinks. So I'm trying to adapt to making this, the G5 stuff, but I don't think just making it for that will be too popular. So we'll see. It's gonna be a hot topic for a month or so, but I don't know what's gonna happen after that. So yeah. So I'm trying to put every egg into one basket, but still a little scary right now. I'm not sure what to do. So I'm trying to leave things open, but so I'm trying to finish all my start working hard to finish all my stuff that I, said that I would do, and I'm going to finish them. I'm going to finish the movie. I worked on it this week. I got a lot of good work on that. That's like, wow. Finished the whole shot in like an afternoon. It's like, wow, that was good. So a lot of good progress with that. So I'm feeling good about that. So let's see. It says it's all gonna just take a while. I'm roughly, I don't know how far I really am into it, because I keep like adding new scenes and stuff. Like, I thought that the scene that the chapter that I'm working on now would only be like maybe 2 minutes, but then like I had that shower dot that's like was so good that it's like, I'll go with that, and then it added like 30 more seconds into one of the sections. I was like, well, I don't have anything else to anything else to really go off on. The other ideas really were not great, so don't really have a backup plan. So I was like, well, we're just gonna have to do it. Do this more complicated, like, extra bit that's to add like 1, 2, 3, 3.5 new 3D backgrounds, and a whole bunch of props and so much stuff and assets into them. So just for this one like 20-second, 30-second little sequence, so that I just added on top of what I'm working on. So, and it's already gonna be that's what I was scared of, is that I already made this chapter to be one of the longest so far. It's like, I think the longest was like the first what am I doing? Sorry. The first cafe city chapter was like almost 2 minutes, or was it like 2 minutes or something? So yeah, this is probably gonna be like almost reaching 3 minutes or something crazy, because I don't have the rest of the second half super storyboarded or like super timed out. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But anyway, I think we're just about on time for an hour and a half of streaming. So thank you guys so much. Hope this was fun. I made a leg and a torso. Are you happy? Hope this was fun. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Big hug. There you go. Big hug from all you guys. For all you guys out there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. And then on next Tuesday, we'll continue on this. So I probably will finish the other leg up, but probably just get from there. So probably won't do much more than that. So we can have one angle, and then we can work on maybe making a front angle or a profile view, and then do that master controller extra bits there. So that's gonna be coming up. So once we get all those, probably get the 3 of those angles, maybe some intermediates, and have them like look up and down of all of those. That might be enough to get really get a lot of mileage out of that. Do a lot more angles and camera angles, whatever we need to do for more polished cartoon. So thank you guys again. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. All right, guys. See ya. Thank you. Bye bye.